today's video we're going to be discussing another theory potentially linking Origin SMP to the Dream SMP. This is a different type of linking theory between the two different servers in comparison to the past two that I've made in the past. Essentially speaking, there are a lot of people that don't exactly want to link these two things together too directly, so they're trying to come up with other different theory ideas. One of the biggest instances of those ideas is coming directly from the Tales of the SMP, where Carl is consistently time traveling a lot in many different ways, going to different places, experiencing different times and ages with many different sequences of events. People are trying to come up with some pretty cool ideas and theories around connecting the Carl's other worlds to the potentiality of creating the Origin SMP as one of those alternate universes or alternate timelines. Anyhow, welcome back to your daily dose of the air. We discuss Minecraft mods and the Origin SMP very heftily. If you're new around here, it'd be highly appreciated if you hit the button down below and go subscribe to the channel, as we're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers. And if you haven't already, make sure to leave a like on the video as well, as it helps to do better in the algorithm. There are a lot of different problems with the theories that I've discussed previously, and I wanted to cover them a bit more right at the back end of this video after we go through this new theory idea. At this point in time, there is no decent theory that doesn't have a collection of loopholes that don't exactly make sense in the grand scheme of things just yet. Of course, as time goes on, as more theories get brought up by other people and the potentiality of certain things, of course, may come up with better, more accurate theories that may be a bit more leading to the line. Of course, the other side note is that currently the Origins SMP isn't exactly a lore-heavy server. Instead, currently it's mainly a roleplay server that they do for the fun of things on the sidelines of the Dream SMP. Again, that's always subject to change because they do enjoy the type of lore that originally started on the Dream SMP, where it was loose things where you have ideas of what you want to do, but everything was loosely done. The way this theory comes from a Reddit user, Mr. Sturges. As I go through this theory, I'm going to expand upon certain points with the information that I know of this type of stuff. The way, let's begin. It starts with quite an interesting member of the Dream SMP, Carl. He's a very interesting character, also because he's the only member with the resources to travel through time. I believe with all the different strings of events which he has both been in and changed, that he could have created a sort of multiverse for at least an alternate branches of time. Expanding upon this, the majority of the theories that come around with the actual real world type of stuff is that there is a multiverse of different things where there's potentialities. Certain events that happen in our time never actually happen in someone else's time in a different variation of the multiverse. Of course, it's all just a theory for the real life thing as much as this is here. I also personally feel like he wouldn't be creating a multiverse, it'd be something that's already there, and him time traveling is traveling between different multiverses which are at different stages of time in history. Continue on. I believe with the infinite possibilities, universes, or realities that the Origin SMP is in, it's possible that there is a connection. To expand upon this, due to some recent events that have been happening in the Dream SMP, certain characters who have certain different powers involved in the actual Dream SMP. For example, Rambo has some form of silk touch on his bare hands, allowing him to pick up things like spawners and other things along those lines that aren't normally be able to be picked up by the average Minecraft player. As well as other little bits and pieces that is often being considered as magic within the Dream SMP server that leads to a potential loose link towards the Origin SMP in the future. Going back to the Reddit post, the only one I think that can happen within the compact lore of the Dream SMP, this can also be seen as magic because we know that the true storyline, Dream On for example, because of all the magic stuff in Dream SMP. Again, expanding upon that, there are other bits and pieces of information that come from the Dream SMP. For example, that Filza does have destroyed wings in the Dream SMP, at least according to his lore and story, could potentially lead to maybe in an alternate timeline or somewhere else in the multiverse that Filza doesn't actually destroy his wings and protecting Wilbur, or certain other things that could line up for different types of events that lead to different outcomes that lead to a style of SMP similar to the Origins SMP instead of where we went with the Dream SMP. And then connecting back to that Reddit post, do not believe that they can be truly the same in reality because of the simple fact that there are no canon lives in the Origin SMP. I do believe they can achieve a lot, but just not mortality. That is one of the major holes within the theory of connecting the Dream SMP to the Origin SMP as some form of post-apocalyptic event, is the sheer lack of canon lives being involved within the Origin SMP at this point in time. But again, Origin SMP is again more of a roleplay type of server, so these type of rules that come from the Dream SMP are obviously going to be more loosely affected in the Origin SMP if there ever ends up being any form of a link between the two. As well as another notion with the fact that we have no idea how many canon lives Wilbur and Tommy both now have, considering that they have been revived after losing all of their canon lives, so it may potentially be that they're now immortal or something along those lines, as no one's said anything about what canon lives they actually have except for the fact that they're alive. Poking more holes in the other theory that I created is the fact fact that there is a potentiality of a lack of evolution in the original story. And considering the fact that we consider the Origin SMP to be years or decades or centuries after the Dream SMP, depending in that timeline, it seems weird that these people, these players, will evolve as themselves but never actually make new people or new generations, rather stay as the same person they once was from the Dream SMP. Then again, we also got to deal with the acknowledgement that they may never actually be Link whatsoever. There is no potential story behind it or anything along those lines. The reason why I made the last video discussing the Origin SMP's connection to the Dream SMP is just due to a comment that S Major made in one of his Origin SMP streams. He discusses how the Origins SMP is just a post-apocalyptic Dream SMP based upon a few different factors he went on to talk about. Again though, that theory kind of got shot into the ground the moment that Wilbur got revived, because it kind of breaks how we get to his character in the Origins SMP and other things along those lines. But hey, if you did enjoy that theory episode from the Origins SMP, let me know what your thoughts on this theory are. I'm definitely always up for any form of discussion in the comments down below, so let me know what you think. And as always, make sure to subscribe and leave a like down below, and until next time guys, I'm going back to the dark place which I once came. Goodbye.